What's up there, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another week of me likely losing. Because we are playing none other than JackTheBattler, the people's champion. The champion of EPL Season 1. And who did Jack play in the finals of EPL Season 1? It was no other than yours truly. So hopefully we can get some payback. That game literally went to game 3, and it went down to the last turn. And if he didn't have a jolly max speed Choice Scarf Landers, I would have won. But since it was jolly and not adamant, I lost. So obviously Jack pulling out the medical right there. I am kind of doing a medical right here. Because I have something special on my camera up for Charizard. Why? And I know that Jack likes to use Charizard. He knows that I like to use Bulu, Camerupt, and Mega Bomb the Snow in return. So I'm kind of banking on Jack bringing the Mega Charizard Y. We also have the Caracosta, and this team might look very familiar to you if you do follow the VGC scene. And it's because this is Michael Roshan's team, barring that of the Vivian. I have the Butterfree over that, of course, and Butterfree sucks because it doesn't get Powder, doesn't get Endeavor, and it just sucks. But I'm going to kind of be using it as a pivot so I can use Rage Powder and kind of take some attacks away from it. See, there we go, baby. He has the Charizard. Now, he does have the Gastrodon, though, which makes us a little scarier because I do have Rain Dance, which can boost its attacks. I have Rain Dance on my Butterfree. I have the Caracosta, of course, which has 2 Water-type attacks. I do have the Bulu, which can change the terrains. He's going to be using the Savali. Now, also, me and Jack have been using the same Pokemon every single week this season. And this is the first week that we're not using the same Pokemon. I did not think he would use the Butterfree. So I have a pretty easy lead here of just leading the Butterfree. I think the Butterfree and the Mimikyu, because the Mimikyu can't be knocked off. The Butterfree, I don't care if it gets knocked off. It has Focus Sash. It doesn't matter. And I kind of want my Butterfree to go down. I can also get up maybe a Rain Dance if he decides he doesn't want to, you know, attack into it. Maybe he'll miss like a Heat Wave or something like that. I'm going to bring the camera up in the back. I'm going to bring the Tapu Bulu. I don't want to bring the Porygon right here. It's pretty good in this battle. I can go for Thunderbolts into the Charizard. He can go for Ice Beams into the Landorus. But other than that, it really doesn't do much, and I don't know whether or not he wants to bring his Landorus. I don't really have many physical type attackers on my team other than Caracosta, which I might not even bring right here. Brings the Coco in the Bisharp, obviously, so he can knock off a possible Eviolite on my Porygon. I'm not going to lead that. I'm going to bring the God right here, and you can't see the nicknames. I nicknamed it God. So I have a pretty clear play of going for a Rage Powder right here, because obviously the Coco will either attack or taunt, and I can draw the taunt away. I think this is exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go for the Rage Powder right here, and then I'm just going to go for the Trick Room, and then I can kind of sweep from that point on. The only way that this kind of screws me over is if he goes for the taunt, because then it keeps my Butterfree in, because it won't go down on this turn. And no, he's going to go for a Volt Switch. Great. So it's going to bring me down to Sash. Yep. And then let's see if the Bisharp attacks right here. Also interesting to see what Jack brings in right here. Be awesome if he brought in his Charizard, because he does. We're going to bring in our camera up if our Butterfree goes down right here. And then we can kind of draw the... No, he goes for the Gastrodon. Okay, that's perfectly fine, because we can go for a... We can actually go for a thing into that. Okay, so we're going to go for the Trick Room right here. And we're going to bring in our Camerupt. We're going to draw out that Bisharp. I don't think the Bisharp necessarily wants to stay in against the Camerupt. He might think I have, you know, Nature's Power on my Camerupt, considering the fact that I just brought my Camerupt in against the Gastrodon. See, he doesn't have any Rain Setters or anything like that. No, so I'm just going to go for this should take out. This is 4 times super effective, and it's a very powerful, and it's going to be in grassy terrain. This should be able to take out... Actually, Since my Mimikyu, well, actually, no. If he wants to bring out his Bisharp, one thing he could do was bring out his Bisharp, switch in his Koko, because the Koko would be able to get its terrain last, but my Mimikyu should be slower than the Bisharp. Actually, yeah. Shit. That's not good. We're going to go for it anyway, and then switch out into the Bulu. Switch. Yeah, so I'm gonna play this a little crazy because he doesn't know I have Nature's Power. I'm thinking a little bit too much into this because he could switch out the Bisharp into the Koko, and it's gonna turn into an electric type attack into the Gastrodon. Don't switch out the Camerupt. He doesn't switch out the camera. I'm sorry, the Bisharp. That's going to give me a heart attack because he could have switched into Koko, changed the electric trains. It's a Thunderbolt going into the Gastrodon, and it won't affect it. And then it can go for a Thunderbolt into, well, it can go for a water type attack into my Camerupt. So he read that perfectly, and he's probably going to go for a Iron Head into the Mimikyu slide. Wow. That was an incredible read right there. That was like, this is why he is the champion. This is like next level reads right here. Gastrodon doesn't typically carry Protect, so I didn't have a problem going with that move right there. He has the Koko in the back. So honestly, what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to go for the Nature's Power right here. The Gastrodon can't really do too much. And then I'm going to go for the Woodhammer right here because he might anticipate me to go for the Superpower into the Bisharp. Also, he probably is Focus Sash, so the Superpower really wouldn't be doing anything anyway. He's going to go for a Sucker Punch. Okay, he's going to try to get off some damage right there. This should be able to take out the Gastrodon. And if it isn't barring like a berry or something like that, that'd be pretty crazy. Yeah, it just takes out the Gastrodon. Comfortably takes out Feenies, Politoads, things that only take 2 times effective damage against it. Alright, and we're going to go for the Woodhammer into that, and then we can follow up with a Eruption the next turn. Because I don't anticipate Sucker Punch to do too much damage. We got to count our turns of Trick Room here as well. Charizard, okay. Why did I think he... Let me see. 2 turns of Trick Room left. Okay. Regardless, we're going to go for the Ancient Power right here. And then we're going to go for the Woodhammer right here. Try to pick up these 2 KOs. He's probably just going to double Protect. Scout out what I'm going to do, but there's still going to be 2 more turns of Trick Room left up there. That might attack with his Charizard, though, because he might not think I have Ancient Power. But no, he's going to protect his Charizard. Okay. So... kind of shitty that I did reveal this, but there's really nothing I could do about it. I can then just double attack next turn. He is going to see that I am going to have Ancient Power now. Might switch in his Koko onto the Charizard slot, switch the terrains around. So I'm inclined to go for a Heat Wave right here. This be able to take out the Bisharp, do a lot of damage to the Koko switching in, and I'm gonna bring in my Mimikyu right here. I don't think the Charizard would want to stay in against a potential Ancient Power, which would definitely OHKO it. It's Charizard X. Oh wow. That threw me through a loop. He knows. He knows. See, he knows. He knows that I know that he likes using Charizard. So he's going to go for the Sucker Punch into the camera. Now, this is going to be 4 times resisted. This is going to be not good at all. Let's see what the Charizard goes for. Maybe a Dragon Dance, considering this is the last turn of Trick Room. But we could still go for a Dragon Claw into... Okay, that's still not going to be able to take me out. All right. Unfortunately, Camerupt is my ticket to winning this game, and I don't have Protect on my Camerupt, as you've seen. This Koko is likely Specs. Jack, I know, in fact, likes to run Specs, if not Specs, possibly Assault Vest or Life Orb. So I don't think it'll have Taunt on it. He knows I like to run Trick Room, though, so I think since Jack's pulling out the tricks right here with his Charizard X, it would have Taunt. So, if that's the case, he could just Taunt and then attack into my Camerupt. But if he has to double down into the Mimikyu to prevent me from getting up Trick Room, then I can just go for a Earth Power into the Charizard, which would be able to take it out, and my Mimikyu would be able to take out the Koko. So, I'm going to go for that, and if this doesn't work, then big deal. So he's going to go for a Dazzling Gleam. Does this take me out? Wow, it does not. Perfect. So this is going to break the sash. He might be going for the attack into the Mimikyu then. And I don't think this will be able to take me out if he goes for a Flare Blitz into the Mimikyu. Yeah, I don't think it's going to take me out. Yeah, it doesn't take me out. There you have it. So we're going to be able to take this game because now we could just follow with an Earth Power into the Tapu Koko. And then if, you know, regardless, we'd be able to go for a Mimikyu Z. Let's Snuggle Forever, which I hate that Z move, and I'm probably going to have to use my Nintendo is watching PNG over that, so we're going to go for the Earth Power right here, and that's going to be a good game. I'm not going to mess around and reveal my Mimikyu EMZ. I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Play Rough, which did miss in week 2. I think it was week 2, yeah, against Robert's Tapu Bulu, which lost us this game. So thank God we won that game. Wasn't looking very promising after he had revealed the Charizard X, but we are in fact going to win that game. Very good information that we do have now, and it's likely that that Tapu Koko is Specs, since it didn't go for the taunt, didn't reveal any Life Orb chip damage, and I mean, I can't really base my, you know, theory of it being Specs based off of the damage, because even if it wasn't Specs, it probably would have brought down my Butterfree to Focus Sash anyway, and it didn't reveal any damage onto the Mimikyu, and Camerupt is just a bulky boy, and it resists the Dazzling Gleam, so I wasn't anticipating it to go down regardless if it was Choice Specs or not. Okay, Bulu was a monster. Camerupt was definitely the call. How can he adjust? Probably bringing the Landorus, but does Landorus necessarily want to come against the Trick Room? Wow, he knows what he wants to bring. This Silvally could also be Eruption, but that's not going to matter against a Mimikyu who will be immune to that. I did reveal Ancient Power, which is kind of crappy, although it's not going to matter against a Charizard X. I would go for the Earth Power anyway. I really liked my Pokemon. How can he adjust to my lead last game? The Butterfree and the Mimikyu. How can he adjust to that? The Charizard. Go for the Heat Wave. It hits both of my Pokemon. I can't Rage Powder that away. Oh no, it's Charizard X. He can't do that. Okay, Landorus. Goes for a Rock Slide. Yeah, I think that's it. Or Koko goes for a Dazzling Gleam. But that still lets me get up a free switch in. I think he brings the Landorus, honestly. I really think he brings the Landorus. I'm going to bring the Butterfree right here. I'm going to bring the Mimikyu. I'm going to bring the same Pokemon. I really don't see any reason not to. I think if he does make an adjustment, he doesn't bring the Gastrodon, which I could have potentially taken advantage of that by bringing my Caracosta. But let's see, because I didn't bring it last game, so Gastrodon didn't really do anything, so he might not bring the Gastrodon this game, which I could have taken advantage of, but I'm going to just go with the same 4 Pokemon. They did fairly well. Going to lead the same lead. I really like Mimikyu because I can Will-O-Wisp with Bisharp, I can Will-O-Wisp the Landorus, and once you Will-O-Wisp the Landorus and its choice, it's not doing too much. Alright. So how can he adjust? He could just go for the same play, Volt Switch, and then go for the Iron Head. And I'm fine with that, because if he doesn't take out my Butterfree as well, and he makes me... He essentially keeps it in, I can go for a Sleep Powder. Or I can go for a potential Rage Powder and switch a Pokemon in, or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just go for the Rage Powder again. There's really no reason for me not to. He's probably going to go for a Dazzling Gleam so he can at least break my Mimikyu's disguise. And I think that's what he'll do. I'm going to get I need to get up the Trick Room. It's basically the my entire play right here. Butterfree definitely is proving its worth. Yeah, he goes for the Dazzling Gleam. He wants to break my disguise, which is the smartest play. Doesn't do too much to the Butterfree. What's the Bisharp we're going to go for? He's going to go for the Iron Head. I don't think we survive this with Butterfree, do we? We survive it! My bulk coming through. Relaxed, max defense, min speed, Butterfree coming through! Oh my goodness! Okay, so what does the Koko do right here? It could switch out into the Charizard, which is going to resist the Mimikyu Z. I could also go for a Never-Ending Nightmare into that, so he doesn't know what I have, so which is good that I didn't reveal it. I'm going to go for the Sleep Powder. We have Compound Eyes. It should hit. It's 97.5% accurate. And then I am going to go ahead and go for the Mimikyu Z into the Koko. Do big damage. Try to pick up a KO. If he switches in the Gastrodon, we're doing big damage. It's going to withdraw the Koko, probably into the Charizard. Yeah, into the Charizard. This should do at least half damage, I'd anticipate. Oh, that's right! Electric Terrain! Jim, what are you doing? Oh, man. I'm so used to being in Grassy Terrain or Psychic Terrain. I never use Tapu Koko anymore. This is a good switch in. I knew he's going to switch into Charizard, but I only have Play Rough, and I really want to do big damage. Oh, wait, we have to put our copyright thing over our screen, which apparently the image is gone off of my hard drive, because that's why you see a big red screen, which is supposed to be a Mario peeking around a curtain that says Nintendo is watching you. That did half damage, Iron Head into the Mimikyu, which shouldn't knock out. It does. Better for me. Honestly, it is better for me that it does knock out, because now I can bring in my Camerupt. And then I could start going for some moves here. Let me see. Could go for the Rain Dance, actually. Does that make any sense? Bisharp is fairly frail. Nah, it doesn't really make any sense. I'm actually going to go for the Protect right here. I think Camerupt's relatively safe against both of these Pokemon. I'm going to go for the Mega Evolution and the Earth Power into the Bisharp. I think if anything protects, it'll be the Charizard. Because the Charizard does relatively well against my Bulu. Koko doesn't really do well against the Bulu. Obviously, the Gastrodon, he has that, doesn't do well against the Bulu. Not even the Landorus does well against the Bulu. He's going to Mega Evolve his Charizard. Let's see what he does. Let's see if he does play a little risky and doesn't protect it. If anything doesn't protect, I think it's a Bisharp, because it still has its Focus Sash intact. I'm going to protect my Butterfree, so we can at least go for another round of, yeah, it's Focus Sash. He might just double up into the Camerupt, actually. Which will kind of be crappy. This shouldn't do too much. That does more than I thought. And he actually goes for a Dragon Claw. Wow, he goes for the double up, which is incredibly risky. Alright, Alright, go for the thing right there. I'm going to go for the Sucker Punch now. I'm going to go for the Sleep Powder right there. And then I'm going to... he has a really good play of going for a Sucker Punch into my Camerupt, which would likely fail. I'm going to go for the Sleep Powder right here, and then bring in my Tapu Bulu, because I think Super Power will be able to knock out the Charizard in this range. I think I didn't play optimally. The Sleep Powder definitely wasn't the play. Could have went for the Sleep Powder actually into the Koko, because I already knew the Charizard was going to be switching in. So... Not good, not good. He's going to go for a Protect. Is he going to double Protect? He's going to double Protect, okay. Just wasting turns at Trick Room. This is smart, this is smart. I'm going to go for the Sleep Powder, obviously, into the Charizard, because what I was thinking was I switch in my Tapu Bulu, the Sucker Punch fails, and he can't get off the potential Flare Blitz into my Bulu. How many turns are left we have here? We have one more turn of Trick Room left after this. Let's go for the, see, the Bisharp really isn't the issue here. It's the Charizard. I'm going to go for that right there, and then I'm going to go for the Super Power into the Charizard, because I think he'll switch into Koko. Yeah, he's probably switching in. Ah, what am I doing? I knew he was going to switch into Coco, but then the electric train goes up. Yeah, wow, I'm playing terribly right now. Wow, just absolutely horrid right now. Yeah, and yeah, oh my god, I'm playing so bad. Because I knew he was going to switch into Coco, but why did I sleep powder? It doesn't make any sense. I'm just not thinking this thoroughly through. Just not thinking it through whatsoever. Yeah, so obviously, this is a thrown game. I'm just gonna forfeit right here. There's really no reason to continue this. There's no way I win with just Butterfree and camera up, which is incredibly damaged. So I gotta really think this through. The electric terrain was really throwing me off my game when it came to the sleep powders. I really wish I had an attacking move on my Butterfree too, which would really help out because I could have gotten rid of the Bisharp. The turn it could have went for the Sucker Punch. Unfortunately, I don't have Protect on my camera, which is really playing against me right now because I can't potentially protect away a Sucker Punch. So my sets, although I thought were really cool because I wanted to put the Ancient Power on my camera over that of the Protect, opting for that so that I can hit the Charizard Y while my Camerupt was on the field. Because generally Charizard Ys feel pretty safe when Camerupt's on the field, but not against this one. But he doesn't have the Charizard Y, he has the Charizard X. Alright, let's get some Cyrus up in here. I usually lose every time I pick Cyrus, which I'll probably lose right here. Every game that I think I've played so far in the EPL, as well, every week that I played in EPL, it's gone to game 3. I can't just win out, which is kind of frustrating. I'm gonna have to have one of those weeks so I can boost my confidence. But right there, obviously, it's just that wasn't the right play right there. So what can I do right here to kind of counteract his play? Bring my Mimikyu in right here, right? But it's gonna be slower than that of the thing. We'll play a little different earlier here. Gonna have a different strategy. I'm gonna force him to go for the knockoff into my Porygon. Hopefully go for a Trick Room with my Mimikyu. And then switch into my Bulu, potentially on a knockoff into my Porygon. But he can also read into that, because if I'm leading this, I am trying to bait him into that, and I could switch into my Bulu. But he's going to lead the Bisharp and the Charizard. Okay, makes things a little easier. Well, not easy, because he still has the potential to knock off on the side of the field. Okay. Alright, so he can go for a, can't go for a Dragon Ball. He's going to have to go for a Flare Blitz into the Mimikyu. And then go for the Iron Head into the Mimikyu if he wants to take out my Mimikyu. He has to know that I could potentially switch into my Camerupt or my Bulu onto the Porygon 2 slot. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Trick Room right here. I'm actually going to switch into my Camerupt. This all comes down to literally turn 1 right here, because if he does go for what I think he's going to go for and read into this, and he goes for the Flare Blitz and Iron Head into my Mimikyu, then it's all for nothing, because I'm going to have my Mimikyu go down, my Camerupt's going to be in without Trick Room. I don't have the possibility to go for Protect, and then I have to switch in my... Yeah, he's going for it. Oh my goodness, he's going for it. Yep. So I could have just... And I get burnt, which doesn't make matters worse. So that's 4 weeks in a row they got burnt. Not by a Scald, but by a Flare Blitz, which is even worse because it's 10%. And he goes for the knockoff. Okay. Not necessarily the end of the world. That does way too much damage. I don't know why it did that much damage. I honestly have no idea how it did that much damage. That's a little ridiculous. I mean, obviously I'm not Mega Evolved, but holy shit, I don't have an item to knock off. And it's not even Life Orb. Yeah, this is... The burn hurts. Again, it hurts because I can't freely go for the let's play rough. Let's snuggle forever into the Charizard for potential chip, or just to go for it into the Bisharp. Like this just really sucks. Let's bring in the Bulu right here. That was last second decision. Overthinking this, but he has been playing incredibly aggressive. I think he'll protect the Charizard, though. He doesn't protect either one. I'm having a hard time anticipating his moves. Critical hit on Bisharp, obviously it didn't matter. Let's see if we hit the friggin' play rough. Oh my god, we hit a play rough. Holy shit. Thank God. And he's probably going to go into the camera up right here. Yeah. Ah, we don't survive that. That has to be a roll. That has to be really, really close. Really, really close. All right. Brings in his Coco right here. He'll get up the electric turning last. I'm going to bring in the Porygon right here. And he's going to bring in the Coco. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I can at least get up Grassy Terrain. The Coco isn't the threat, it's the Charizard. But if anything protects, it's the Charizard. So I am going to go for the Play Rough. I don't think the double up, the combination of the Play Rough and the Ice Beam will be able to take out the Coco, though, which is the thing. So I think I actually have to go for the Let's Snuggle Forever into the Coco, and then I can go for the Ice Beam into the Coco. The Coco is definitely specs. Gastrodon. Okay. Still going to do a lot of damage. And the Charizard does protect. Still going to do a lot of damage, although he can recover the damage. But it'd be nice to know if this does enough damage to it that, wow, okay, I think I'd be able to... does Porygon outspeed? See, now, if I wasn't burnt, this knocks out the Gastrodon. This is why these burns have been playing such a crucial role in me losing every week. Because, in fact, if I wasn't burned, cleanly takes out the Gastrodon. Cleanly takes out the Gastrodon. I wouldn't have a doubt in my mind that it does. The Charizard protects, which is all for nothing because I didn't attack into it. I take out the Gastrodon, which I probably won't right here. And the Gastrodon will likely go for a recover, outspeed both of my Pokemon. Oh yeah, definitely take it out if I'm not burnt, because I didn't take it out right there, and it's going to recover with the Citrus Berry. That's just really unfortunate. And Gastrodon is definitely slower than Porygon. This checks Porygon speed right here. Yeah, it's definitely faster than Porygon. And it's gonna recover right here. I'm going to go for the Will-O-Wisp right here, and then I'm going to go for the Ice Beam into the Charizard, because its biggest attack right here is going to be going for the Flare Blitz into the Porygon. Oh, I actually outspeed the Gastrodon. Is this a really speedy variant? I have to get rid of the Charizard regardless, and he doesn't go for a recover. Okay. We're going to get some residual damage off into this Gastrodon right here by going for the Will-O-Wisp. So, he has Protect. He probably has Scald, I'd imagine. This is going into the Porygon. No, it's going to be on a Mimikyu. Hopefully it takes me out. It does. That's actually not bad. Granted, I lose the Weather Ward, but Coco really doesn't do that much to the Bulu. Actually, no. The Electric Train's already up right here. His Charizard goes down. I'm going to be getting up Grassy Terrain right here. The Gastrodon really doesn't threaten my Bulu all too much. I can now know that I'm faster than the Gastrodon. I can go for the Ice Beam cleanup into the Gastrodon, outspeed it because this should be the last turn of Trick Room right here, and then I can go for the Wood Hammer into the Coco because it can't protect. Oh, no, okay, so he does get up the electric terrain, which isn't that big of a deal, because I can still go for the wood hammer. It's going to do a lot of damage. How many turns of Trick Room left right here? Yeah, this is the last turn Trick Room. Going to go for a wood hammer right here, and obviously I can't let the Gastrodon freely get off a recover if it doesn't protect, anticipating a double up into the Tapu Koko. I need to take care of it right now because I don't want to get I don't want to have it get off it. Yeah. I don't want to have it get off a recover and then a skull burn into my Bulu. So we're going to take out the Gastrodon right there. Woodhammer is going to go off into the Tapu Koko. It's going to do a lot of damage. I don't anticipate the Dazzling Gleam to take out my Bulu, and then my Porygon should be able to. Yeah, my Porygon's going to be able to just clean it up with a with an Ice Beam. All right, so that looks like it is good game after throwing. Game 2, not playing correctly with the sleep powders and such, and just not playing optimally whatsoever. We're going to end up winning this game right here. So we redeem ourselves. We win our first game of the EPL by beating the returning champion of the EPL, and we're going to go 1-3. Just, I needed that win so badly. And what better way to do it with Butterfree? We brought Butterfree to both of the games. Obviously, Porygon was a monster in this game. Definitely the reason why I won this game. Picked up so much damage into that Gastrodon. I did not see as to whether or not the Gastrodon... Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, my Porygon 2 got a special attack boost. I think it may have, but I'm just max HP, max special attack, and with the Eviolite. Bulky enough with the Eviolite that I don't really need to invest in attack. I really don't care for surviving many attacks. It's more so for some offensive pressure. It's one of actually my offensive attackers, because if you've seen, I didn't have Recover on it. I had Thunderbolt, I had Shadow Ball, and I had Ice Beam to basically cover the entire meta. The Thunderbolt was for the Charizard, the Ice Beam is for the Landorus, and the Shadow Ball is for the Gengars, for the Aegislashes that think they can wall the Porygon, and if I get up a special attack boost, the Gengar gets O-Code, and in Blade form, the Aegislash gets O-Code, and it does about half damage in Blade form. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. We end up winning this game, thank God, with our Trick Room Camerupt Butterfree team. And thank you to Michael Rossans, who doesn't even know who the hell I am, but came up with the great idea of using Vivian with Powder, Protect, and Endeavor with Focus Sash. And you can go check his, not his videos, but his matches against his opponents at the Costa Mesa regional that was in March. And it's on Nugget Bridge's YouTube channel. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Thank you for watching. Take care. We are 1-3. Let's keep going.